You know when you've just had enough of your own bullshit? There comes a time when you need to just face the facts, and it doesn't have to be in this big, huge, dramatic way where you've been completely self-sabotaging, completely letting yourself down. When you know you want something different, when you know you want something bigger, when you know you haven't been completely living up to your own hopes and your own dreams, then you can change. You can simply decide to start moving differently. And that is what I'm excited to talk about today on Big Creatrix Energy with me, Gabriella Rosie. And that is what I'm really excited to offer forward and invite you to join me in the Creatrix Challenge, which is really my version of doing 75 Hard, because I know that doing challenges like 75 Hard, where, you know, you're sticking to doing, I think it's like 5 or 6 different things every single day for 75 days, and you've got a plan for yourself. It feels good. Like, as humans, let me speak for myself, it feels good for me to follow a plan and to know exactly what I'm doing, to know that I'm actively working towards doing the things that I want to do, and I'm actively creating the kind of life, the kind of experience, the kind of results that I want. This is something that I've been thinking about doing for a hot minute, let me tell you. And, you know, just playing around with like, the time's not right. The time's not right. Things need to be aligned just right. I need to feel like ready. I need to feel like I have enough time. And when I got honest with it, I was thinking about this last night. It is something, it's not a fear of like not being able to do the thing, because I'm going to talk you through exactly what I'm doing in the Creatrix Challenge and what I'm inviting you to join me in to do if you want to start making art, being hot, living and creating in the way that you actually want to. It's not a thing of like you don't know what to do. For me, what I realized last night was it's a thing of being afraid of the responsibility. And I also knew that I wanted to do this in some kind of public way, because doing something publicly gives you incredible accountability. It gives you like a boost, the boost of being like, people are watching, people are doing this alongside me, is like super force motivation. But it's also a lot of responsibility, and I think we can shy away from the responsibility, even if we know that that exact responsibility is going to help us to be able to create the results and do the things and show up in our lives in the way that we want to. So I want to read you this of what I was writing in my morning pages this morning, because it's basically me being very excited by deciding that today is officially the day I'm going to start this challenge. And by doing that, I'm also going to announce this challenge. I'm also going to invite you to join me in this challenge. There will be a link in the description where you can download the tracker, so you can use that to mark off your progress as you go through these 75 days, as we go through these 75 days together. But I want to read you what I was journaling on this morning, because I think it really sets the scene of how like genuinely excited I am to take on this responsibility, and the responsibility of like holding this space and creating this space for myself and for you guys, but also the responsibility of being like, fuck, I am so ready to level up and create things in bigger ways and go for exactly what I want, and to enter what I really know is going to be a new chapter of my life. And it isn't about just like ticking off these 75 days and waiting for the result, like waiting for what's going to change, what I'm going to create in the process. It's really about reframing how I see myself by proving to myself that I'm capable of doing more than I've given myself credit for. You know, like it's very easy to tell ourselves that we're too tired, or we don't have the time, or we don't have the ideas fully fleshed out, or it's impossible to create every day, and it's impossible to show up for ourselves in the way that we really want to. Doing these 75 days together is our way to prove to ourselves that we can actually make time for exactly what we want to do, and we've given ourselves proof of it. So it's not about like, how can I get to this end result? How can I transform and be that person? It's becoming that person every day. It's deciding every single day for the next 75 days to infinity that you're going to live as the creatrix that you know you're capable of being. because that isn't a destination thing. That's like something you can literally show up and do through actions that I will describe for you, and actions that you can also define for yourself. Of this is how we want to show up. This is how we want to move for ourselves. We don't have to put our hopes and our dreams and our vision for ourselves in this far off distance, when it's actually something we can live and experience on a day-to-day basis in really pretty simple ways. So this is what I was journaling on this morning. Let me read it to you. Starting my own 75 hard today, feeling motivated as fuck. This is the transformation I need and want. I'm excited to put effort into myself and my life. I'm excited to try. I'm excited to have a mission. I'm excited to follow a plan, even though it's simple. I don't want to push my vision back anymore. I don't want to push back my hopes and dreams or myself. I'm so inspired to be my fullest self. I'm so worth my effort. I am so fucking ready. This is it. This is my life now. And there's so much I'm capable of and so much I'm ready for. I'm excited, I'm hopeful, I'm motivated. There's truly nothing more important than taking immaculate care of myself and doing everything I can to create the exact experiences that I want to be living. This idea has been fizzing around for so long. All of these ideas have, and I'm so fucking ready. I'm so ridiculously excited for the transformation that committing to this is going to bring for me. I love myself so much, and I'm so happy to show that to myself every single day. This is a commitment to myself and a dedication to the life I'm creating for my future self. I love you, baby. This is why we need to do morning pages. Can we please, Vivian? We need to do morning pages. We need to hype ourselves up. We need to be like, I'm not gonna lie, there's been so many days, especially over like the last few weeks, last few months, and it hasn't always been like excitedly hyping myself up, but through being able to be continually honest and journaling and having these conversations with ourselves, we tell ourselves exactly what it is that we want, and we also can find the solutions where we will create exactly what it is that we want. That's why journaling is one of the things that we're doing in the Creatrix challenge. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about what's going on. If you want to join me, if you want to be an artist doing 75 hard, if you want to show the fuck up and start living in alignment with the life you want to create, not in the future, but start living it right now. Start showing up and making your art and being the person that you want to be every single day, like right now. Let's go. If you are not familiar with the official 75 hard challenge, it is you don't have to be. I've done this in my own way. There's so many different versions that you can find that people have done that are like 75 soft and like more gentle versions. And this is definitely, I guess, a more gentle version, but it's an adjusted version. The main purpose, I think, of 75 hard is like a physical transformation, whereas the purpose of the Creatrix challenge is a creative transformation. And so, of course, the things that we're going to be doing, the things that we're prioritizing are a little bit different because they're specified towards unleashing the Creatrix within. So first up, start when you want. You can start the day that this video goes live and I present this challenge to you and you download the worksheet. You can start whether it's 3 months or 3 years after this video's gone live. Like, you don't need to have other people on day one alongside you. You can just choose to start whenever you want. As I said, you can click, there's a link down below where you can get the printable download that you can mark off every single day as you do your things, and you can feel just that pure satisfaction of visually seeing your progress, like visually being able to mark something off. I think the power in doing these kind of challenges is the things in it aren't complicated things. They're probably things that you do frequently or sporadically anyway, but the magic, the true transformation that happens is when you do them with regularity and when you are consciously aware of why you're doing them and like the process that you're doing them within. I think sometimes we can be so, I don't want to get too like existential with this, but sometimes it can be like, what is the fucking point? If you're doing something and either it feels like it has to have a really specific end goal in mind, or I don't know, like it's just helpful to have something like, I'm doing this because I'm doing a 75-day challenge. And that, as simple as it can be, that can be enough. That is motivating to be like, well, I'm doing it because I said I'm doing it. And it's within this structured challenge. So that helps me be aware of what I'm actually committing to. And it helps me have some kind of timeline to keep showing up, because I want to keep the momentum going. I want to show up to this for myself. And in that, I know that in the original 75 challenge, it's like, if you miss a day, then you have to start from the beginning. I don't want to do that. That's just seems silly to me. I think we can have room for missing a day here and there, or missing a certain habit on a certain day here and there. What I don't want for myself and what I don't want for you is to like build up a chain of missing days. So if you miss something on one day, then you get to decide, like, this is about us telling ourselves. I'm not going to be there like to slap your wrist and tell you that you fucked up. That's not how it works. Like, this is you making a promise to yourself. This is you showing up for yourself. And so what I want you to decide for yourself and to hold yourself accountable for is, if you miss one of the things on one day, you make sure it's a priority to do that thing on the next day. We're not having two skips in a row. On your little tracking printout, you're not going to have two little blank things next to each other. There's nothing like I can force you to do that. Again, this is about you deciding. If you want to have the results, if you want to feel the way that I know you want to feel, if you want to create the things that you want to create, then you owe it to yourself to take responsibility for that and to decide to prioritize the things that are going to get you where you want to go. There is a power of doing this in a community and doing this alongside other people that does foster momentum and motivation. But at the end of the day, no matter like how much I can try and orchestrate this and how much, I'm going to create things as we go, that's going to be little boosts along the way and things that I hope will help you. It's on you, baby cakes. Like, this is your life. And you're capable of taking responsibility of that. You're capable of prioritizing the things that you want to do. These aren't things that like are going to feel shitty. These are things that are going to feel really good. And if you let yourself be really honest and be really specific about how you do want to prioritize these things and that they do hold weight for you in your life, then you're going to be thrilled as fuck to show up and be able to like tick those little boxes off. So no 2 missed days in a row. And even more to that, some of these things, like each individual thing is so simple that you might miss one thing in a day. One day you might skip out on journaling. One day you might skip out on doing some movement. But that doesn't mean you have to scrap the rest of the things for that entire day. That doesn't mean you have to hold that day as a complete fucking write-off. As long as you are showing up and you're doing things consistently over time, and you can have that bird's eye view of these 75 days and how you've showed up for yourself consistently over 75 days in different ways. Some days it might be going like hard doing the thing. Some days it might be like, let me just do what I can today. That is fine. It's about proving to yourself that you can continually show up as the person you want to be, as the person you already are. Okay, so let's get into the things. There are 5 core tasks that we're going to do every single day for the next 75 days. And there's also a space on the worksheet where you can have your own little bonus task, and you don't have to do it if there's not anything that feels like important or feels relevant for you to do. Feel free to skip over that. But if there is something where you're like, actually, I really want to prioritize doing this thing as well, then you have a space to add that in. The first thing to do every single day for the next 75 days is make art. Of course it is. This is the Creatrix challenge. What the fuck else would you be doing? I know you have so many things that you want to create. You have so many ideas that have been cooking away in your brain, and you are ready to create them. You are ready to start taking action. And that can feel daunting. That can feel like a really big, overwhelming thing to start taking action on your ideas, because then it means they have to be real. Then it means that you have to face up with how involved and how big a task might be and a project might be to complete. That's fine, because you've got 75 days and all you have to do is show up for 20 minutes each day and create something, anything, for 20 minutes each day. The aim with this isn't necessarily to like have a bunch of like crystallized finished projects. That'll be really nice, and I hope you do, and I think it's gonna really help you participating in this challenge to have more finished products and to definitely have a clearer understanding of what it is that you create and how you create, purely because you'll probably be creating more than you have in a really, really long time. But what I want most is for you to build a habit of creativity, for you to build creativity as a practice in your life that you show up and you do and you create something every single day. All you have to do is spend 20 minutes creating something. And it can be really helpful if you want to get yourself a sketchbook, and you can make it really simple by telling yourself you just have to draw, write, scribble, collage, whatever it is that you feel called to do on that particular day. Put something in that sketchbook. Create something where it wasn't before. You might want to create, you might want to bake a cake. You might want to film a video. You might want to record a podcast. You might want to write a song, write a poem. It can be a completely different thing on every day. The point is you start to make space for yourself to create and to enjoy the process of creating, because I know when we have goals and we have visions around wanting to create things, it can absolutely suck the fucking fun out of it. It can make it seem like we have to be productive all the time and we have to be as efficient as possible when it comes to creating things. And creativity is the antithesis of productivity. To be effectively creative, that means you are experimenting a lot. And so you get 20 minutes every day for the next 75 days where you are giving yourself permission to experiment, to play around with ideas, to make a lot of shitty art, and maybe you might make some good art in the process. But either way, you are flexing that creativity muscle. And by the end of the challenge, you will 100% feel so creatively refreshed and energized. The next thing is be hot. And I don't give a shit what you say. This is a specific task. This is a specific daily task that you can tick off. And absolutely it's because the motto around these parts is make art and be hot. And I need to clarify here once and for all that be hot isn't about looking a specific way. Being hot is an energy. Being hot is a vibe you carry in your spirit. And you can practice this, you can complete this as a task in so many different ways. And I actually invite you at the start of this challenge to write down all the different things that you can do. What ways do you want to explore being hot? It might be going through your wardrobe and trying out different outfits. It might be doing affirmations in the mirror to yourself. It might be running a bath and filling it with all of the oils and just soaking and feeling in there and relaxing and just nourishing yourself. Having be hot as a task is a way for you to prioritize nourishing yourself, prioritize being in your body with yourself, taking care of yourself, feeling really good about yourself. And also seeing the many ways, I want this again to be a really experimental thing where over the next 75 days, you're exploring all the different things you can do and the different ways you can feel into your own hotness. And the aim is by the end of the experiment, by the end of the challenge, to have seen yourself in different lights and to really feel into the extent of your own personal hotness, and which is really your aliveness. To me, I feel really alive. I feel really hot. I feel really sexy when I'm creating something and when I'm expressing myself. So there can be a lot of overlap in these things, but I want you to make space for you to feel hot and to feel really good about the fact that you get to be yourself every single day. The third thing is to journal. This can be your morning pages from Miss Julia Cameron's Artist Way, where you do stream of consciousness. There can be 3 pages, it can be 1 page, it can be half a page. What I want you to do here is I want you to give space where you're paying attention to your thoughts and your patterns and your ideas. You're giving yourself a chance to express yourself on a daily basis. It doesn't have to be like, you're not writing sonnets here, you're not writing masterpieces. You are literally like word vomit journaling. You're writing the ideas that have been swirling around your mind. You're writing pages and pages of affirmations. You're writing about whatever it is that comes up. It might be something like someone's pissed you off, and instead of going and screaming in their face, you can write it down in your journal and you can process your emotions in that way. Having journaling as a daily prompt for the next 75 days is going to help you connect with yourself in such a deeper way and let you like move out the cobwebs in your brain, allow you to get to know yourself so much deeper and know where you're at and know where you want to go. This is a vital piece, and I really don't want you to skip over this, because when it comes to being a creatrix, when it comes to creating yourself and your life in the way that you want to, it is crucial that you give yourself this frequent, reoccurring time to get to know yourself deeper and deeper and to keep that connected relationship with yourself. And the easiest and the most effective way to do that is through journaling. Next up, we have move. And this is a key part of the original 75 Hard. And move in the Creatrix Challenge is whatever you want it to be. It can be a walk. It can be a vigorous workout. It can be a Pilates class. It can be stretching on the floor. I want you to prioritize moving your body in some way every single day because it makes us feel really fucking good. You will absolutely feel hot as fuck when you're giving yourself the chance to like move the shit out of your body, to be in your body, to know what it feels like to actively be in your body. And there's so many other benefits of like when you are moving, when you're working out, when you're going for a walk, whatever it is, you have so much more openness and so much more space to think. I get so many good ideas when I'm like laying on the Pilates bed or when I'm going for a walk. It's giving your body the ability to move in all the various ways that it wants to move. It's also giving your mind that space to have excellent ideas. And then the final task in the Creatrix Challenge is to get inspired. This could be the read 10 pages a day. It could also be watch a movie that you've really been wanting to watch. It could be watching a YouTube video or listening to a podcast or scrolling through Pinterest. Honestly, I feel like we really need to decriminalize how we view consumption by being conscious consumers. And what I mean by that is I want you every day to actively seek out observing, consuming something that fills you up, that makes you inspired to be alive, that gives you different ideas, that fuels you so you're able to be more creative. The more things we watch that are of value, by which I mean things we actively want to watch, not just scrolling through whatever happens to be on our Instagram feed or whatever like Netflix is churning out for that week, but the more you actively, consciously consume things that truly tickle something inside of you, the more inspired you'll be and the more motivated you'll be to put that energy into creating things for yourself. And then remember I said there is space as well on the habit tracker for you to define your own task that you're going to complete each day. I think what I'm going to do is content. So I want to make a piece of content. I usually make at least one piece of content every day, but I want to allow that to be something where I let myself be creative with and be experimental. So I'm going to give myself that space to experiment with different ways that I want to create content and show up on the internet, because that's something that feels really fun to me and it's absolutely something that I want to expand more in. So that is everything in the Creatrix Challenge. That is the task laid out. I want you to go to the link. I want you to download the tracker. I want you to print it out and I want you to start ticking things off every single day. I'll be sharing my journey here on YouTube, on the podcast, on Instagram, on TikTok, all over the interwebs. So feel free to join me and to share how you're going as well, and to tag me and to DM me, and we'll have these conversations about how it feels, what's going on, what transformations are taking place. I have some ideas for content I'm going to be creating that will help you and assist you as you progress through the 75 days. So stay tuned. And if you've made it to the end of this video and you've decided that you are going to join me in the Creatrix challenge, then leave a comment and let me know. Let us all know. Tell me, say I'm doing the fucking Creatrix challenge with you. I'm here for it. Let's go. We're making out, we're being hot, we're ticking the boxes. Remember, you can be, do, and have anything and everything that you desire. I will speak to you in the next one. Bye.